ゲームはルールを決めてから。
TGS2021 online fan meeting, the world of games countering COVID. Thank you for having us. Actually, I don't know this is a good thing, but we came here. Well, this is the last program, and we are going to recap this year's TGS. I am this program's MC, Koji Watanabe. Here with us, we have TGS2021 online official supporter, Magical Lovely. Thank you for joining. Can I have a few words? Mr. Murakami, King of Count 9th place. I am Murakami. Noda-san, please. King of Count, the 9th place. I'm on the left. I'm Noda Crystal. And also, we are joined by official MC for the past 4 days, Kosuke Hiraiwa. I am Kosuke Hiraiwa. Thank you for having me. It's been a good 4 days. Thank you for your support. And Shohei Taguchi. Yes, this is Shohei Taguchi. Thank you for your support for the past 4 days. And in the second half, we will be having more guests, and we will be talking about TGS 2021. We are going to do the first section, the recap of TGS 2021.
So first, Magical Lovely, as the official support, what did you think? What's your feeling? Well, really thank you for the past 4 days. And actually, today is my birthday, but that's irrelevant here. Watanabe meeting. Should we have a Watanabe meeting? Well, we can throw me some super chat. But no, of course, that was joking. So let's look at the time schedule for the past 4 days and let's recap. So as an MC, I've been doing all of these programs. Well, it was really packed. It was really rich content. Any hot happenings? Any troubles? Not really. Like after the first day, I would be surprised if I would have the next day off. But last year was completely online. But this year was hybrid. It was fun. And I had some work to do in Tokyo and had to go back and forth. Other than the program, Magical Lovely, you also did an online tour through Zoom of the venue. Yeah. Well, the people at each booth gave detailed explanation about their exhibition, and that was really good. And anything memorable? We saw some students. We met with students, but they were really professional. The games I played were created by them, and these were professional. And some of them also used VR to create games, including some racing games. It was incredible. And Rockbuster programming. If you do it according to the textbook, then you can create a stage in a game. So Rockman, so it means you can play with the Rockman game, right? Yeah, I fought against an AI, and I think I learned a lot from that. And in elementary school and junior high schools, and the children are learning about programming. And in the past, people think it's a bad thing to play games, to do programming, but now things turn around. It's different. And it's really easy to create games now, do programming now. And what Rockbuster was about, there was a block and you can thrust your hand in and you can just operate it with that. And you can turn it to left, to right, and you can make decks. And so you can use the blocks to do programming. Maybe you can also incorporate that into your comedy skit. Well, don't talk about comedy skit anymore with me. I don't want to hear that. Don't talk about Kant. Not even Famicom. But because we lost the king of Kant, that's why we can be here. And don't play our comedy kit. Please forget about our performance. So let's come back to games. I think any games that you definitely want to buy. Earth Defense Force will be released next year, and I think the quality will be marvelous. I almost said KOF. Even saying KOF reminds me of my defeat at KOC. Megami Tenshin by Atlas. That's a game. That's a buy. How about you, Hiraiwa-san? Any GameStop you want to buy? Well, a lot of titles I found interesting, but especially HappyNet, about a 1,600 yen to 2,000 yen game that they are providing on Steam. It's very much affordable, but also very fun. And Happiness reminds me of a small game machine for arcade, and which includes like 40 old games. It's really small, it's very compact, and you can also turn the screen. It's about 8,000 yen. And a deer game also looked fun. A game about deer. From this year to next year, there will be a lot of titles to come out, and that's really exciting. I really want to get relaxed and play games at home, but I really don't have that time. That's tough. We didn't have time, so we really had to rush from one booth to another. Even if we wanted to play the game, we wanted to take some time to play each game, but we didn't have time. So Games Award and Monster Hunter Rise was awarded, and of course you know well about these games awarded, right? And yes, for Monster Hunter, actually there was a game that I created exceeded Monster Hunter. Noda game exceeded Monster Hunter for 1 to 2 days, just for 1 to 2 days. Because Noda-san's game is cheap, about 10 yen, about 1,000 yen. So I walked around a lot of booths, and I used to be going around as a customer, but this time I saw a lot of things behind the scene, and I saw a lot of backstories, from the stakeholders. So I decided that I'm going to participate. I'm going to be an exhibitor next year as Noda Games. Well, as a TGS, maybe you're not very welcome. I just need one booth, a long and tall one. But is it okay to have my own booth? I think I can negotiate. If they really don't want me to exhibit, then I will give up. But I will talk to, the Secretary General will come. You can talk to the head of the Secretariat of TGS, and you can negotiate with him. Oh, I want you to exhibit next year. He said, okay, great, yay. I can have my own booth in TGS next year. Does that mean that everybody can exhibit then? You should have a high standard. But he said I can exhibit. So then I will also create something. I'm not going to be a publisher for you. So that's been fixed. Maybe that will be on news tomorrow. And I want to serve as an MC next year then. Well, you can join as my companion. And you can wear swimsuits. Will people take pictures of me? Then I would do it if people are willing to take pictures for me. So, great. Glad to know that we will be able to come back next year in some way. So, unfortunately, Magical Lovely have to leave now. Do you have any words for the audience before you go? Murakami-san, over to you. This is my first time participating in TGS, and this year it's been held remotely. So, it doesn't have the maximum heat, but there were a lot of media. It was really exciting, so I wanted to see what TGS would look like if it's completely physical. So I really hope to see everybody in person next year, and I will wear swimsuits to participate in a real physical Tokyo Game Show. So that would be my word for the audience. And Noda-san, how about you? Yeah, of course, I haven't been able to see you in person, the audience in person, but I feel like we did those programs together, and I had a sense of achievement that I was able to introduce all the game titles to everybody through the screen. And I really want to create things together, and I created something that I want to show. So next year, Super Nodage World is going to be released, and through crowdfunding, you can participate in the game, and your illustration can be embedded in this game. So it's going to be something very interesting. And I really welcome your participation, and let's create games with me. So what are you doing? You just had a deal with the Secretariat to have a booth next year, and you are now advertising for yourself. So Murakami-san, Noda-san, thank you very much for staying us to the very end. Let's. Well, this program overlapped with King of Kant. And nobody was watching us. But actually, no, that's not true. A lot of people were watching. So I think we will come back next year. And we don't know if there is going to be spectators next year. But if you come, please come visit Nodage booth. So thank you very much. You guys can keep talking. What are you doing? What should I do? All right, thank you very much. I don't think that was a good ending. You were better than RP3. That's a whisker. Okay, thank you.
We move on to the next part of the program, the recap of Sense of Wonder Night 2021. The Sense of Wonder Night 2021 was sponsored by Sony Interactive Entertainment and Nintendo, and 80 indie game producers have been the candidates, and of those 80 games, the Zone Selection Committee selected 8 finalists that have Sense of Wonder. And these are the finalists, and there are the video, so please check it out, and it's interesting. Any games you are interested in? And one of them says, do not buy this game. Well, there are 2 games from Israel. Yeah, do not buy this game. Sounds interesting. And there are a Japanese game, Kakurenbo no to Hidden Notes. And this game is that you can only look at the feed through smartphone, and you actually walk around, and information in a smartphone really merges with the reality. So it is a AR game, augmented reality game. And if you watch the video, that will surprise you. So please check that out. Blind Drive by Lo-Fi People won the Audience Award Grand Prix. And we have the interview video, so please watch.
And anyway, congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much.
Okay, tell us about your feeling right now.
Well, it's really very exciting. We're very honored. It's really a great feeling to present to such an amazing audience and a jury who are experienced and really know video games, and to manage to bring something new and surprising. Yes. It's a wonderful feeling.
Right, great. Okay, so Terry-san, what kind of game creators do you want to be in the future? So,
as a collective, Giori Politi and I, who co-created Blind Drive, we've been working together for quite some time on creating interactive installations and interactive artwork, not necessarily video games. Blind Drive is our first video game, but the common theme in a lot of our work is this feeling of transporting someone, the audience or the player, into a completely different world in which things are familiar but work differently. So in Blind Drive, we explored it through sound and using our ears. And I think that is a theme that we'll be interested in exploring in the future in different ways. Audio games are a wonderful and we feel an underdeveloped genre with appeal to an audience that is far-reaching. and that is something we'll want to explore, but also other ways of interacting with the world. Those are the themes that we're looking forward to trying many more ideas in the coming years.
Okay, Terry-san, anyway, congratulations on today. And
thank you so much.
Looking forward to your future development and the future of your success. Thank you. Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So the game is about exploring the sound. You have to use your ears a lot. But if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. You are driving, but you are not seeing anything. But you are driving through a lot of objects, and you are also listening to some advice and instructions. And I look at the comments, and some people have played the demo version. So there is a value and significance of indies games that is different from mainstream games. You know, it's like really the madness or the strong passion of the developers, and that is outstanding. And the game companies, big game companies can do different things, but there are only things that can be achieved by indies game makers. Yeah, there is some value, and that is the significance of Sense of Wonder Night. Okay, let's move on to the next part of the program, TGS 2021 from the perspective of game media. And we are joined by the guests, Robson Daniel, the chief editor of IGN Japan. Thank you for coming, and thank you for having me. Good evening. And from Shukan Famitsu, we have Hiroko Saga. Saga-san, thank you for joining. Thank you for having me. So we are now joined by the two guests. The first question. So what did you think of TGS 2021 from the perspective of game media? Well, this is the hybrid with online and offline, and this was my first time for a long time to go to Makari Messe. There are a lot of constraints, but I was happy to go to Makari, and we share the same views with other press. However, there are downscaling, and there are no ordinary visitors. So I really hope next year we welcome the visitors. So in a hybrid setting, we send the information through online, and influencers and the media press also collected the information on site. So is it really better for you to go to the venue? Yes, that is more fun. Well, we do a lot of web interviews, but having an interview in person, I can look at the face, and that is how people convey the emotion. So there are some good side of the on-site. Yes, there are many things we can do next year. What about you, Daniel? Yes, this is the hybrid, online and offline. And from media's perspective, it is very challenging to cover everything because there are a lot to cover. However, within the venue, IGN has live streamed a lot of information. If it is 100% remote, and it requires a lot of preparation and challenging part, but within a venue, not everyone, but we have developers from many companies, and we have game we can play. So we have a studio, and we welcome the guests, and we can play together, and we can convey the information to the audience or viewers. This is something we couldn't do last year, but we got to do it this year. So it is important to get together and have experience. And also, as Saga-san said, when you strike a conversation, there are something new. But really, from media's perspective, E3 was as well, and TGS last year was the same. Even though they're out of live streaming, they have to be recorded video. Otherwise, you cannot really manage the event. So, the last year there were not really live streaming, many of them, but this year they were truly live streaming and online, and it was great. Thank you. The next question: there are some online specific and new events. Were there anything that were particularly exciting for you? Yes. First of all, online experience tour. It was not really covered by media, I would say. There are Japanese and English tour, and actually I was in charge of English language tour, and it was my first experience. So the Nikkei BP with HIS and us, so as a trilateral collaboration, we organized it. So we used the Zoom, and audience can join the Zoom, and we took a tour. And me and Star Betsy-chan and two of us did the tour. And we talked to the people in the booth. And actually, I was reading the question there, and I was interpreting the question from users who were asked there. And there was a real-time conversation, and it was really new experience for me. So instead of doing a program in studio like this, you go to the venue and have a real conversation. And that was the tour using a Zoom. Yes, it was very interesting. Yes, the comedian from Yoshimoto did a tour, and for the English-speaking audience, you did that for Daniel. I'm not sure how I did compared with the comedian from Yoshimoto. Well, this is good events, so maybe we should do this every year. Because of the COVID, no usual visitors were allowed, and it is still difficult for foreigners to come to Japan. But even with the standard TGS, it may be difficult for some people to come to other country, but this year we did something new and had a real-time conversation. It was good. So what has been the reaction from the audience overseas? Well, this TGS, there are less overseas exhibitor, so mainly there have been a showcase of the Japanese games. So from users' perspective, Super Robot Tyson and Yurikyo, and so these are the games that have been niche, but they have been particularly interesting for some overseas users. So it was good because those games were exciting for the users overseas. And we have a simultaneous interpretation. It is very challenging to do simultaneous interpretation. Interpretation for 4 days should be very challenging. And the IGN Japan did the program. And there was a program about how the Japanese games have been perceived in overseas, and everything was bilingual. Something was prepared in advance, and it was live streaming as well. And I know how much effort you have to put for the one program, so I cannot imagine how much effort you have to do for the whole show. And yeah, it is really good that we have the comments from overseas. The interpreters have to translate the joke by Magical Lovely. The improvised joke is very difficult to be, it is very difficult to translate. Saga-san, what do you think? So I would like to talk about TGS VR. So this is the new initiative this year. So with Famitsu, and with we did the exhibition. So TGS VR realized a lot of roles that originally were played by the TGS, Gundam, and Chocobo, Sonic, these characters welcome audience. TGS is all about walking around the exhibition, and with the VR, we could do that. We could achieve that. We cannot do a lot, but visiting the exhibition is fun. And doing that with VR is really fun because you get to visit many places virtually. So for the light game users, VR may be too challenging, but so I hope that this will be widely used going forward. So this is really different from the physical experience, right? So game characters, the character from Attack of Titans really presented with a VR, and there was some exploration, right? Yes, you can collect items. And it was very good. It was fun. So maybe you should continue. Actually, I think it's open until 2 o'clock in the morning. So if you are awake, please access to the VR. Have you seen the VR? A little, just a little. I used the PC browser, and it was really exciting. So, through VR, you can immerse yourself, and there are still some time for you to experience it. Well, I want this to continue even after Tokyo Game Show. If you have more richer contents, and that could be like a game theme park that has a potential. A lot of IPs are there together, and that makes gamers really happy, I think. I have another question. So any news that are really widely covered by IGN and Famitsu? Daniel-san, what about you? Yes, the English version, Japanese version for overseas and Japanese, we have covered a lot. For this year's game show, we did not have one single game, and also we did not have a booth for the PlayStation, but the Monster Hunter Rise PC version, first video, and Shin Megami Tensei 5, and also Final Fantasy FF7, Last Soldiers, and the Origins. And we have a lot of new movies, and users of the media were very interested. And King of Fighters 15, KOF. And the new characters were announced, and that video was captured, and we showed to the audience. And Xbox showcase, it was great. Last year, Xbox showcase, yes, it was there, but it was really directed at the community, and there were a lot of local topics, and it was good. However, this year, for home and abroad, people really showed interest, so it was good. Thank you. What about you, Usaka-san, from Famitsu's perspective? A lot of reactions were around Hironobu Sakaguchi, Naoki Yoshida, and Famitsu was involved in that. Okay, that one. TGS specific special conversation, and there was some remarks about FF16, so it drew a lot of attentions. And the games that Daniel mentioned, it was good. And Earth Defense Force, it really caught people's eyes. And actually, Sophie, that was the sudden announcement, and it was very exciting for everyone. So, so I would like to have some words from Daniel. We have to wrap up. For a very long time, thank you for joining and TGS official channel, and IGN live streaming channel, Famitsu. A lot of media have been live streaming for the past 4 days. It is impossible to cover everything, but there's an archive, so you can take a week or two and you can watch the rest of the programs. There are the information provided by the media. So playing the games, and we have visited the locations, and we can convey the information, and there are a lot of contents, and that was good.
So I really want people to enjoy, and we also have been continuing to broadcast our program, and we would like to ask you for your continued support. And Saga-san, over to you. As I said, that the most important thing in game show is for the participants to enjoy. And of course, the TGS side has done a lot of efforts and incorporated a lot of ideas to make it happen. And I really hope that next year this event can be held in real life. And of course, I want to go, and I heard that there will be a booth for horror games, and I want to really visit that. So I will definitely write something about it. Thank you very much for having me. Yes, see you again next year in the venue. And thank you, Daniel-san and Saga-san, for participating in such a late time. All right, let's move on to the last section, TGS 2021, seen from the Secretariat. So TGS 2021's events, we have two people representative of the operational aspects of the events from TGS 2021 here. So one of them just gave a green light to Noda-san to have him exhibit next year. Okay, the first person we have is Taiyo Tanabe from Nikkei BP, the head of the Secretariat of TGS. Thank you for having me, and thank you for staying with us till the very end. Then we also have Go Ishikawa, the Secretariat of the Tokyo Game Show, is from Dentsu. My name is Ishikawa. Thank you for having me. The 4 days have been long, but also have been short. I hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tanabe-san, your beard is growing again. But actually, I shaved my beard beneath my nose. Well, I see you working very hard every day and night. And I want to ask you, when you look back to this year's TGS, how did you like it? From last year, we were under the influence of COVID-19, and 2020, it was full online. It was fully online, and of course, that itself was an important attempt, but the festive feel of TGS and the social media and how to make TGS buzz in social media and the various other media, we really thought about these and tried to enrich the content. And for some parts of the TGS this year, it was a hybrid. So for 2020 and 2021, I feel like we did totally two different events, actually. And we tried a lot of things. Well, the COVID-19 is continuing for a long time, and we had to hold TGS 2021 online. But we had companies and some consumers participate, and I think it was a good event that we had this year. There are more content that is more specific to online events, and TGS VR was very well received. Good job. Yes, so TGS is a first attempt from TGS, and it's also a 25th anniversary. We had a VR venue to commemorate this. And as we are having difficulty to have real-time events. We want to have people take part in the event even remotely and have interaction with people. That was the purpose for that. And I hope you like that experience, and we will continue new attempts going forward. I don't know what to say, but games, characters, IPs, VRs, these things have good affinity. And we want to further refine it next year and then bring it to the next stage. The game manufacturers, you are really collaborating with them well, and sometimes you also have the characters in the venue, the statues of characters. Yes, we got a lot of cooperation, a lot of help. And I think Tokyo Game Show is really a good occasion for all the games to come together. And this time it was a hybrid version. And I think it was well received. And what did you think about that? Was it expected? Yeah, it was a hybrid event where we do not accept the public, but so that's unusual. We only invited influencers and media, but it is the first time that we received people from outside. And it was really difficult. The most difficult thing was to create the manual for the visitors. Of course, we have to think about social distancing, and we also had sensors at each entrance to monitor people and also have guidelines if we have any people who have fever, etc. So we really had to think through how to secure the safety of people. But against that backdrop, we had a lot of influencers and others came to the event, came to the venue, and the excitement of the event, I think, has been shared by people. And if you search with hashtag TGS, you will be able to see a lot of YouTube, a lot of content and articles, videos by influencers. So not only the media part, we are also putting a lot of emphasis on the social media. And I do heard a lot of voices saying that they really want to go to the venue. But I think we've been able to deliver a fun and interesting event. But yeah, the sensors and the partitions, I think you really did it thoroughly, but at the same time, you ensured that it did not stress people, overly stress the people. So we don't know what is going to happen next year. We have to see how things unfold. But I think this time also served as a test case to assume that we accept public visitors next year. So I really want to thank you too for your efforts. And I want to have some words from you towards TGS next year. Ishikawa-san, starting with you. Yes, VR was mentioned before. It is to expand the possibilities, and that's what we really want to achieve. This year, apart from VR, we've also set up new attempts. One is music, another one is fashions. These are the new things that we started. And Tokyo Game Festive, that is what we did this time. For the first time, we collected the well-known music from games to commemorate the 25th anniversary of TGS. in a full orchestra way. It is something that was really dazzling and remarkable. That's something you can only get from TGS. And we want to build on that next year further. And we're going to work very hard. And we will continue to broadcast the archive for the music festival of TGS until the end of October. And we look forward to seeing you again next year. And Tanabe-san, what about you? So we did a lot of new things. Of course, I don't think it was perfect. And as Ishikawa-san said, when you do new things, and I think Tokyo Game Show should take on new challenges. There were a lot of exhibitors and visitors, and also foreign exhibitors and to foreign audience. We want to deliver a valuable Tokyo Game Show next year. And as Watanabe-san said, I think this year served as a good test case for next year. And it was unusual, but we did a hybrid this time to see the connection between people and to form communities in the games. Or something that can be created by physical contacting. And as Noda-san said, we also look forward to seeing the Noda Games booth next year. We want to enrich the online content, but also in terms of physical content. As far as the regulations allow, we want to provide a better and more enriched content to our audience next year. And at this time, the theme was Tokyo Game Show, the world of game, the countering COVID-19. And that was a theme that was came up with by Tanabe-san and Ishikawa-san. So thank you very much.
So we have to wrap up TGS 2021 online fan meeting, the world of games countering COVID. Taguchi-san, any few words? Thank you for watching us until late at night. Thank you for your support for the past 4 days. So from a game perspective of the gamers, we really want to have a physical event. And even when you are waiting in a line, you are having fun, right? But from MC's perspective, so when we have a higher quality for the live streaming, it is positive. So, technology advances in order to solve the challenges. Even without COVID, when we have more live streaming, if you are busy at work, and if you cannot come to Makahari, it's a good thing. So the parallel evolution will make me and everyone happy, I think. So to every staff member and for all the viewers, I would say thank you. Thank you, Hiraiwa-san. Yes, first of all, from morning to the night, thank you for watching us for the past 4 days. This is hybrid setting, and some of the physical booths were in the venue, and there was online. Last year, it was 100% online, so it has evolved. We had fun. So game comes really good with online. Esports, I do play-by-play commentator. So when we look at the atmosphere, we have been adapting to such an environment. Competition can be done online. Players do not have to go out from home, but going to the venue and hearing the voice from the audience, and you want to focus on something that is in front of you, but you want to go to other place, going through the people and look at something exciting. So there are the good thing for the both sides. We don't know when the atmosphere is coming back next year, in a few years, we don't know. But when we do that, please come to Makuhari in order to make it happen. Please enjoy the game and please maintain and even grow your passion. We don't know when, but as soon as next year, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a venue. Thank you for your support for the past 4 days. Thank you. Good job, everyone. So Tokyo Game Show is going to end in 15 seconds. TGS is evolving. There are many ways to enjoy this. We want to together enjoy the game. Everyone, thank you for being with us. Goodbye.